Hey, thanks for tuning in to this week's Monday Motivation. My name is Tony Ruiz, and I'm the founder and host of the Productive Agent podcast and Facebook group. The purpose of our Monday Motivations is to give you a quick message and make you think and be inspired to start off your week. Today's episode is entitled Energy Takers and Givers. Last week, I was kind of in the mode of thinking about some material for the show and the podcast. And I had a friend of mine, a colleague, send me a photo and a message that was entitled Energy Takers and Givers. And it was a great list. And I thought, you know what? This is perfect material to use for the podcast. So here we are. I'm going to go down this list. We're going to start off with the energy takers and kind of give you a little bit of my feedback, a little bit of my experience on certain things on the list. And then we're also going to talk about energy givers. And as I go through this list, I want you to think about, am I doing that? Am I allowing myself to have my energy taken? Or am I actually giving myself energy by doing these things? And then we'll talk about it at the end. So let's get going. Energy takers. First one on the list, focusing on the past. What comes to mind here is the rearview mirror. All right, you hear that a lot. You can't drive forward with staring in the rearview mirror and focusing on what's happened in the past. So there's a reason that your rearview mirror is smaller than your windshield, right? We need to focus on the big picture of moving forward. So stop focusing on the past. Inconsistent sleep. I know that when my sleep schedule is not very good, I'm feeling sleepy. When I'm feeling sleepy, I'm feeling unfocused. So are you getting inconsistent sleep? Next one on the list is mess and clutter. You know, when there's just your house is a mess, everything around you is a mess, laundry's piling up, you're not taking care of things, you're just really kind of unorganized. So if you take a minute to get organized in your life, it's going to be a reflection in your business and vice versa. Sedentary time. So this can happen pretty easily, especially a lot of people working desk jobs. And of course, you have adjustable desks where you can stand up and do all those things. But this reminds me of what Tony Robbins says is motion equals emotion, right? So if we're sitting a lot, if we're not moving much, usually our emotion is going to go down as well. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding that. Of course, social media is on the list, right? That is one of the major distractions of today. Obviously, avoid distraction and you're going to increase production. So focus on that. Overworking is on the list. Getting burned out is something that comes to mind. So you could be working. I know Josh Sigmund talks about this, work really hard. But then I think he said like every 3 months or every month, I think he said to do like a short getaway for the weekend. And then like every 3 months, do like a bigger getaway. Maybe go somewhere else in the state or like out of state or travel a little bit to kind of regroup and get back to work full force when you get back from this trip. Dehydration, is just unhealthy. We want to make sure that we are staying healthy and hydrated. Screen time, again, falls in line with social media. Less distraction equals more production. So stay away from that screen time and watching all those shows on Netflix. Resentment, right? Same idea of focusing on the past, right? Holding on to something. We got to make sure that we're moving forward and planning for our future. Negativity is on the list. What you focus on increases. So if you're going to continue to focus on the negative, you're going to get more negative things. Junk food is next on the list. I know when I eat poorly, I tend to get sleepy. And then when I tend to get sleepy, I'm not being productive. So make sure you're watching what you eat. The news, when you're listening to the news, there's a lot of negativity in that. That can definitely be an energy taker. Alcohol is on the list. It's a natural depressant. So you want to minimize that or maybe even get rid of it. And stress is also on the list. So I know that's kind of a snowball effect for me. So when I'm feeling stressed, I like to stress eat. When I stress eat, I feel nasty and sleepy. And it's just a snowball effect of not being productive. And of course, fear is on the list. I think a lot of us battle with this depending on what we're doing. but fear can paralyze us. So we want to avoid these energy takers and switch them with these energy givers. So here's the energy givers list. Music is number one on the list. It changes your mood. I know that when I turn on certain playlists on Spotify and I just listen and enjoy it, it definitely changes my mood. I encourage you to do that. Nature, right? Just getting some fresh air, not necessarily going on like long walks, but that's good as well. But if you just step outside for a minute and take in the fresh air, I know sometimes I might have a headache or something, and then I'll just go outside and do some deep breathing and taking in, fresh air, and like I immediately feel better. So that's something that I definitely encourage you to do. Resting is another one. Sometimes, life happens and we're just running around like crazy and we didn't get great sleep, feeling tired. Well, you're not being very productive. So what I've noticed is sometimes I'll just set a 30-minute timer and take a quick nap, close my eyes. And it's like I know there's science behind this. I don't know the exact statistics, but that time period, that 30 minutes will get you into enough sleep to get some rest and get you right back out of it. I know I feel better. It works for me. Maybe you should try it. Sunlight, same thing, getting outside, feeling good. I know when, it's a beautiful day outside, everybody seems to be in a better mood. Positivity, obviously creating uplifting moments, focusing on the positive and creating more positivity throughout your life and business. Gratitude is on the list, having appreciation for what you have. I think so many times we focus on what we don't have, what we want, but we don't take a minute to go, wow, like what we do have is pretty amazing. So make sure you appreciate that. Hydration goes in line with dehydration, right? Making sure you're staying hydrated, making sure you're staying healthy. Meditation is on the list. Slows everything down. When I take a minute, and it doesn't have to be crazy long. I mean, it could literally be 2 minutes of just laying there and breathing and relaxing. It definitely helps relieve any stress that you might be feeling. Movement is on the list, going back to motion equals emotion, right? So if you're standing still or sitting down a lot, it creates a low emotion, right? But if you're moving, if you're active, if you're working out, doing all those things, that creates a higher emotion. Breath work is great, kind of in line with meditation, relieves of stress, oxygen to the brain is going to make you feel better. Community is important, all right? Talking to somebody who can lift you up. Last week, I left an event and I was just kind of in a funk, and I just made a quick phone call to somebody in my community, and immediately within like 2 minutes of him talking to me, I felt better, all right? So making sure that you have those types of people in your corner. Decluttering, all right? When you get organized, it's a reflection of your business and your life, so make sure that you work on that. Getting consistent sleep. Obviously, these are kind of the opposites of the takers, all right? If you're lacking sleep, make sure you get on a good sleep schedule. That will definitely help you feel better. Eating whole foods. I know when if I'm eating like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, and proper things like chicken, fish, all that stuff, and it's prepared the right way, I feel better. I don't feel as bloated. I don't feel as nasty, and that definitely can affect how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, and all those things. And then the last one on the list of energy givers is learning something new, all right? Reading or watching and being inspired by things. I try to read a lot of books daily, and then I'm like, even on TikTok, I'm learning stuff as I'm scrolling. It's not just wasting time, but I do that at a certain point in my day, usually at the end of the day when everything's done. But always learning and taking in more information. So in recap, this is a great list to reference. I'll make sure to post this on social media, so if you follow us there, you can see it. You can grab it and save it as a reminder. Think about these lists. How many of the takers, the energy takers, do you do? All right. How many of the energy givers do you do? And now I want you to challenge myself, you, anybody that's listening, to replace the energy takers that are in your life with the energy givers. All right. And see the difference that's going to make in your life and in your business. So that's what this week's Monday Motivation. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, share it with a friend, family member, whatever. If it made you think, pass it on, please. Share the show with a friend, drop us a review, and give us a rating. That would really help us grow the show. Feel free to join us on our private Facebook group, The Productive Agent. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. On all of those, give us a follow. All right, leave a comment. Love to hear from you. All of the links are going to be in the show notes. So I thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go.